Good evening, everyone. We're back. We're live. We got some cast for you tonight. I have been scouring all this interesting stuff, trying to find the ones that are better to watch, better to see, more entertaining for the average viewer. And I have 4 matches lined up. I've got a pair of ladder matches and a pair of team games, so we've got a bit of a mixture tonight. And ranging, got some pros, got some Joes. No noobs, not this night, but Joes and pros and what we've got lined up. So we our vault. Alrighty. So over to we're starting up, getting into this, and first we're going to run with the shortest cast of the night, and this is a 1v1 ladder match. It is going down on Forbidden Pass, and this is the first game of the night, and it is going to fire up between a pair of pros. Wait for the game to load in, shouldn't be too far away. And here we have it. Alrighty, we know Forbidden Pass got the lovely amount of water in the middle. You can get an advantage if you have hover, because you can just float over almost anywhere, but that aside, not too much. Anyway, on to the game we go. Up here in the top corner, Banani, not to be confused with bananas, he's Banani. I have no idea if that's any kind of plural, another language or what, but he is Banani. Back down in the opposing corner, we have Autonoob. So for UEF quite wisely, he's opened up first land and he's actually planned a whole lot of things for us. So we can see he's going S, power, max, more, lots of power. But he's got 2 lands and 1 air factory planned. Looks like it's going to be first land, second land, and finally third air factory. Back down here though, Badani is going slightly the other way. He's done a first land factory and actually has a second air planned after throwing down a bunch of power. First unit out is actually a hunter. Great jaunt all the way around the map by the look of it. Yep, indeedy. Over that way, down there. So he's probably going to run around and hope to catch an engineer down here perhaps. We shall wait and see. Right, you know the drill with Forbidden Pass. No reclaim aside from trees. Only the tree clumps going to be your reclaim that you'll get. This engineer is going to get start work, and you see there claims a whole bunch at once. That gets a little bit of mass as well as E, so clumps are good. No, back up the top here, really not a heck of a lot going on, but we'll just have a look at the build order. So you see he's got himself down, chucked down the factory, grabbed up mixers, and then is spamming up power, and he's using engineers on the reclaim to supplement that, so he might be stalling. Very close to it. Look at that. So you see he is just on the cusp of stalling. He may have stalled a little bit earlier that we didn't see, and side Autonoob is absolutely fine. So there we have it. Reclaim helps win the game. Get that early boost to your eco, get things running smoother. Lovely. And we should see the air factory coming up next. That is going to start walking his commander down. So typically we see people dropping down here with the comm. Actually, he's got something planned. That is commander. That is his commander. Anyway, we mentioned about that lab running out this way. The big guy. He's just hopping along, enjoying himself. Stroll along the beach, waddling away. He's going to come down here and maybe look at trying to catch this energy, but he might be out of luck because that is a tank. A striker. Something long. He's going to be very protective of his friendly engineers. Doesn't want to lose any of those to a wandering little mini-bot. Alright, just check if you've got any. Well, that's interesting. Early air out from Autonoob. So, despite being... No, he changed his mind actually. I thought there was a land factory, but it turns out that was an air factory, so that's my mistake. He's actually got a second air factory down there, so he might be planning on going a bit air heavy in this map. Could be interesting. Would require a lot of power, but could make up the difference. But looks like just a couple of defensive air units out, just watching out for those early bombers. Which, speaking of early bombers, there is one. Question is, where more land factories? Has 4 in total in the base, so 1 land, 4, 1 air, 4 land. Whereas suppose we've got 1 land and 2 air factories there. So Banana is going to get a leg up on the eco game, and has Autonoob spotted that bomber at all? Well, no, he hasn't, because he doesn't really have radar. And speaking of that lab down here, it did run afoul of the striker and promptly dies. Engineer survives, no dramas. But we have another force down here. Another defending striker with a snoop. But a trailing engineer behind them that, if timed right, this bomber could get. I think it's exactly what we're going to see. You see the radar signatures in a moment, because bombers now have radar of their own. Just a little bit. See, pause, think about it. Nah, I won't go for those. And going to find the engineer. Bomber's way, or will the interceptor manage to keep this engineer alive? Locks onto the bomber, does one pass down into the yellow. Will it be able to swing around in time to keep this guy alive? Answers no. There's the bombs, no dodge. Just not quite in time. Down here though we have a Mantis meets up with the Snoop and Striker. Snoop goes down really easily. They haven't much number of hit points, and the Striker struggles with turning that turret compared to the Mantis. Go at each other, and the Striker couldn't decide if it wanted to shoot at the Mantis or the Scout. So the turret actually started turning towards the Scout as it came into range of the Mantis, which unfortunately left there. Up here though we have a bomber from Autonoob himself. Looks like he's going to take down the extractor. I imagine there was an engineer somewhere. Or not actually. He has not lingered on account of there being 5 interceptors, which would quite quickly. I see just coming down this way and is possibly going to pick up an engineer. I think that's a lock on there from that Scout. See a bomb come swinging down this way. That's actually a drop. There's the bombs, and there's the engineer. But that drop is, yep, popping a couple of engines down here, and I think we'll see moving on down here is quite possible. And yep, there it is. Wouldn't actually be the worst idea to grab one of these bombers and drag it down, but of course Autonoob has no radar, has no idea what's happening. In fact, I think Banani might be slightly here because his commander's already over here, already got the 4 mixers and setting up a shop, whilst Autonoob is just finishing off his mixers now. We take a look at the grand scheme of things. Still early days, still rather even. This is going to be a massive advantage for Banani. Gets his engineers down, hasn't got anything planned yet. The attention's going to be elsewhere. Oh, wait, there we go. And throwing up a Magno radar straight away. He's going to see things coming, he'll know how much time he's got. He's actually got some supporting units coming, streaming in to assist. And speaking of units, we have 3 up here, very badly damaged Striker, as well as a Snoop and a healthy Striker versus a not so happy Mantis. We should see these guys swing up this way in a moment now. Back there we go. Oh, unfortunate. Getting the damage Striker getting ranged by that much, and you could leave the Snoop tip with this guy to death. Let him get a kill. Anyway, I'm going to rock up this way, I imagine, just to put a damper on those mixes there. 1v1 action here. We've got a Striker versus Mantis. Striker does a little wee dance and managed to avoid a couple of shots, which should give him the advantage to win that one out. Not a mutual. Back down here though, they mentioned that stream of units coming through one by one. They are. Slide on by for turning round, and this is actually quite a well established position now. So Banani has all 4 mixers, he has a land factory just about finished, and it's got a point of view to help shoo anything that might come along. But that's not so good for... Is he aware? Well, he's just flown over with bombs, so he will be aware. He's going to go have a look at what he can see. Oh, there's the anti-air to shoo the bombers away. And that's so good. It's a very solid little hold down there, and no. Banani's going to be fine. There's not enough units here to worry a commander. He can take them all on, absolutely no worries. And he's got supporting units coming up as well, so he'll clear that out. Bombers here are going to go not here because he's an anti-air. Wherever they are, they just don't care. They're going to stop in the most ill-advised position I can think of, right in front of the anti-air turret. Interceptors decide to land. Also a bad idea. They're back up again. And on their way. Alright, so checking out down here, so there's actually a big force in this one here on the defense, but commander coming over here, that'll work. He can rock back up here, he can clean it out solo just about if it wasn't for that. And now we have 2 factories placed to fire out units, so it gets worse. Checking up over here, we have radar for the single point defense, but bomber flying overhead, and a few units coming in. Right, so checking out the map, it really does look like Banani has the advantage of both the top and bottom groups. This one here. Let's check out the number of units. What are they sitting on? 34 tanks, 5 artillery. Banani, on the other hand, has 60 Mantis, so he's got nearly twice as many Mantis. I don't think he's got any artillery, but no, he doesn't. I don't see any. No artillery whatsoever, but still 60 Mantis. Yeah, that's not so good. Twice the standing army of your opponents. There are a whole bunch of point enemies floating around though, so these units without artillery are going to struggle against the PD. Small helpfulness, and if we check here, we have a Lobo just lobbing things off, killing off that point defense, and maybe going for the radar or going for units, not sure. Hint of a small little raid, but it's going to be picked up and completely by the superior Mantis force. Down here though, we have a few tanks, probably worthy getting that this way, just to get it in range and do some long range hits. Get your commander out front to help beef up. Back up here though, we can see that autogun's having a lot of fun. Got itself 4 kills already. Make that 5, 6 actually. So it's been some weight so far. That's pretty much a standoff. About 7 units. I think Autonoob actually has more there. But down here we are looking at a much larger force, which could come in if it wasn't for the autogun. Let's have a check in if Banani has decided maybe I want some artillery. He started to put some in the mix, so we do have some Medusas out. Not too surprising. And when we start seeing point defense and a drop attempt, I don't know if that's going to succeed. Do have a couple of Mantis in the area that could quite easily take those guys out, and Autonoob is paying attention, so they're on the move straight away. Checking out down here, we have, oh, that's a sizable incursion actually. I think Autonoob could clean out this area. He's got plenty of Lobos in the mix to do the extra damage to the structures. And you can see the health just falling off those, although he is dropping units to this defensive force there. That's going to be pretty close, but in comes the swing vote, which is the commander. That will quite happily get rid of all of that. Back up here, these engineers captured mass extractors, that's hilarious. And down here, didn't quite manage to oust. But problems on the south for Autonoob. This force is just wandering in at probably twice the size of those units. So he could possibly push all the way through with those. There's not a lot to stop them going into the base. But that is. So Autonoob has gone for T2 Air. He's got a T2 Air factory and trying to get some power up. Have a look at the other side. Do we have any tech for Banani? Well, no, we don't. He's sticking with the spam. I take that back. He has T2 land. Pop flak out of that, and it's going to make a whole lot of things redundant. No land tech for Autonoob. He's sticking with the T1 spam, and actually he comes back with more units and finishes cleaning up this position, so that has been taken away from Banani. And that is a good solid hold on there. Let's check on the other side. We see units trying to come in. We do have Medusas in the mix now, so that PD is going to get a lot less done than they could have. Have some supporting units behind it, but you see that stun effect from Medusas being really annoying. Auto Noob brings his comm out. It's going to help clean this up. He can pick off a few units, make them run away, and he will keep a hold of this for now. Just coming in, it's got to be careful, but his main concern is down here, solidly in the hands of Banani. Plenty of defending units. Could do with some more air perhaps, but there's a lot of Sky Slammers, so I don't think it's going to last too long. And is that Banani running away or towards? What's your move order? Chill. Chilling and moving back there. Alright, Auto Noob is going for a gun upgrade on this comm. Why not? Could come in handy. Got a bomber just working his way through some units over here, doing a bit of damage. Here we can see Stinger. There's the wreck. Right there, so maybe got a few units, but ultimately shot down by the number of Sky Slammers. And that's a whole lot of air coming from Banani, so we could see a bit of near fight here. Be Inties versus Inties, fairly even numbers, but you have a versus inactive, although that looks like a pretty good pickup for Noob, and I think he has just won himself the air battle. The most ill-advised time to turn from Banani, and his air just gets shredded. That's going to leave it. Dent done on the gun upgrade and air control for Auto Noob, so he could start using some of these stingers out from here. Gun upgrade himself, but we have bangers. So did Banani know he had T2 air? Well, he will, because he scouted that earlier, and that's gone dark, which means he knows it is upgraded. Concerned about that, he has popped a couple of bangers near his comm for the sole purpose of stopping air. That's exactly what they do. So there's going to be no air snipe on Banani, I don't believe. Gun upgrade with no support. So it's just gradually slower, and we see here Medusas now coming in to make a mess of pretty much everything here. Is Banani going to be able to catch Auto Noob on this upgrade? Well, he's very nearly done. I don't imagine we'll see him sticking around. Or maybe we will. Nope, he changes his mind. Maybe he had the nano queued, and that's a Janus just hovering around, taking fire for free. And up the top, bad formation. Could do so much more. Push those units in, could maybe take out this and do some massive damage to Banani. But down here is where Auto Noob's focus likely is, because there is a whole bunch of units steaming in towards his main base, and a Janus that is floating around, dropping bombs in really strange locations. Alrighty, and actually, no, I think it'll be okay. This comm would target things that he can actually see. It's going to be fine. Overcharge here, takes out a couple. Yeah, water's right there. No whatsoever. Back down here though, we have this forces come through, takes themselves out T1 mix. Looks like we have a couple of autoguns planned. A T2 engineers, if he has the mass, those will go pretty damn quickly. Another Janus run overhead that does a good amount of damage actually, and I think in addition to the Janus bombs that will... And Auto Noob does pop into the water with his comm down into the red, so he loses that position, but he's got this one instead, which he took over quite some time ago and has plenty of reclaim to grab. Right down here, not quite as much reclaim. Engineers already in place though, and pop down a radar. So despite taking this off Banani, Auto Noob has lost the spot here, but has not held this area at all the entire game. And he's now got T2 ground units coming in with flak involved, so it is not going to be useful to help that out. It's T2 in the mix up here as well. That's a lot of walls. Those are not going to get completed when the army's right on your doorstep. Do we have a T2 land shift from Auto Noob anywhere? Well, we don't. This is all still T1. The only tech he has is the air factory. getting a nano repair on his comm, so he wants to try and give him a bit of a health boost and get back up. And we can see here, tickled down by a scout. I'm not sure it can do it. It might be regenerating faster than the scout can damage it. Be as fast? It's like it would take damn off forever. Anyway, checking up here though, this is where the next incursion is going to come, I believe. We have this poor hapless engineer is about to have a really bad day, melted by Rhino, and then this force has to drop back in the face of T2 along. This is trying to garner in the support of the guns, but these guys think, you know what, we don't need to go near there. We're just going to completely skirt you. This way. I do hear more Janus, and here they are over here trying to get some damage done, and damage they do, but maybe not enough. There are 3 bangers in the mix. It's a lot of flak. These guys are just going to get swarmed by ants. That's the right word, probably isn't. But okay, Autonoob is trying to shadow this army because they are pushing in. They got nothing to stop them. Leaves behind this small group here. No arty in the mix, so Plasma guns could have a fun with that. You can see the Rhinos have a very direct trajectory with their guns, so they're going to shoot the walls all day. Or the ground. And same over here, so there's 1 Medusa in the mix, but it is down, so autoguns will actually have a reasonable effect against Rhinos. Particularly with the walls keeping them in place. Looks like Autonoob finished his regen. Yes, that's a nano upgrade and a gun upgrade. So combat comm here. Pops out of the water and wanders on in with an overcharge. Pops a couple of Medusas and gets to work cleaning up the rest. Units come back in as a distract, but he's got to be a little careful. A few runners in there, although an overcharge will make them decide to run away. Another Rhino down. Still got a couple of bangers, so that'll be the commander shooting all of those guys out of the way, but that's a brick. ST3. So Banani's actually shuffled onto the T3 stage on the land, and that's just going to be a pain. Janus come out, and I think at this point swatted out of the sky by a whole host of interceptors. But that just spells bad news. I don't think... Well, he's got T2. But if we have a look at the eco stats, Banani is almost double his eco and has 18,000 mass more over the course of the game. So, Autonoob figures out the same thing, and he decides to control K and cede victory to Banani. So there we have it, first cast of the night, 1v1, and that went really well for Banani. Managing to capture this point down here away from Autonoob first, then get that extra eco in, then get those extra units, and you can see just absolutely spanned up all the T1 energy. Never got into the air game. Back with T1, I take that back actually, he did get to T2 air eventually, so he may have had some plans along that way, but getting into the T3 really was the final nail in the coffin, it seemed like. Majority of the game. And that's it for the first one. Alrighty, we're going to move on to our first team game of the night. Get this one up. Load the replay. Play the replay. And just before we kick this one off, I am going to mute the chat because, well, it gets a little salty. Should make it all nice and quiet. Alright, but anyway, so here we have Hilly Plateau and we have a 5v5 going on. So up here we're going to call this team number 1, team number 2 down the bottom, and I'm going to start up here. Right, up front we have Millen Bell, we're going to call him Millen, and he is orange Seraphim. His partner front and crime behind is Abraxas. He is UEF in white. Side position is Khaldun. Oh, maybe I've seen that name before, I do not know. But anyway, he is pale blue and he is Seraphim, opening first land. In the rearguard air position, this is Trith, Cybran green. And beside him, finishing off, is ATP. He's also Cybran on purple. Alright, so typically what you see is you'll get a couple of comms walking up to the front to try and grab all this lovely reclaim. The side guys will push out on the edges while this guy focuses on airplay. Their opposing side, we have Motu, and he's gone red, and he is stand already well on the way, as is his front partner Maximus XXX. Sounds like a porn star name, and he is pink Aeon. Off onto the side player, it is Ponyorka. I'm gonna call him Ponya. He's Seraphim, he's gone grey. Other side is another Seraphim, that's yellow Neuro Alt. He's going to be Neuro from now on. And in the rearguard air position is New World Warrior, and he's Cybran, and also running UEF. Okay, so as mentioned, these two guys are already well on their way to the front. They have a little bit ahead of these two. If they can get there, they'll be able to hopefully get most of the mass. See how this goes. But we've got some scouts, got some labs running out already to maybe try and get to the back and pick up an engineer. See, actually they're planning to come right here and pick up these exact engineers that are going to be coming over for reclaim. Not a bad shout. Delay things. Alright, this is Abraxas. He is actually kind of on his, not on his own long enough for it to really be worried about. He'll be fine. See, in the middle spot here is probably about 5,000 reclaim just in this middle section. If we score right out, there's 36,000 across the entire map. So a quarter of it is here. Quarter? Roundabout. Just in this middle section. It's about a quarter of the reclaim. But you really don't want to let your opponents get it for free. And here we go, we have Mochilal is standing there with his comm. That's very inefficient. Be flaming. Although it looks like he already grabbed a bunch. Unsure. First bits of guns firing up, and actually that lab. So I spoke about the attempt to grab an energy, but that was anticipated by Millen, and he rolled out with the FAM in his own scout to stop the lab from knocking off any engineers. So in the middle of the guys having a bit of time plinking away at each other, grabbing some reclaim. Fairly standard stuff. Didn't see too much in the way of any bad things happening. These guys are mostly Joes, a couple of pros in the mix. We have New World Warrior and Trith. They're the fifth highest rated players at 1500 and 1600. Just behind is Millen, Mochilal, and we're actually going all the way down to Ponya, who's the lowest ranking at 800, so he's actually down by a fair bit, which is interesting because he's on the other side to Trith. Normally see highest and lowest are on the same teams, but as it is, this is apparently a balanced game at 93%, and the average rating is 1200 and 1220 teams, so you're not going to get much closer than that. If we check out the stats, have, well, 20k to 20k in the coffers for both teams, 21, 21, so you see how very closely those ticked over, so it is very even in the game. Is that a drop? It is a drop. That is one cheeky drop. So it looks like Trith is just popping random engineers around the place. He's just wanting to grab some extra reclaim for his base. Exactly what he's doing, even manual reclaiming them so they can grab the rocks before other people do. So he really wants to get his kickstart on his eco. Help things out. This engineer down here is doing the exact same thing, going to grab some rocks, while Euro has his own engineer doing the same thing. But units wandering in from Mochilal going to kill off this NG right there. Here, Mochilal kills a few units. We have still going on common action between Maximus and Abraxas. So So these guys are quite happily shooting each other in the face. They're both going to go down with the yellow pretty much the same time. Slight advantage to Abraxas with the UEF-Com having a higher initial health pool, but at this point it's fairly negligible. Right, checking up over here, we have Mochula has been quite ballsy with this com, still holding up around front. He built that mass extractor and he's shooting stuff. The more he shoots his few units like this, the better for him. It's going to get rank and vets, and that's going to help out. Checking out up here, that sounded like a gun com, and indeed that is Neuro with, looks like an upgrade on a Seraphim Commander over there. Over on the right we had a host of NGs drop down by New, and same thing that Trith is doing and grabbing all the reclaim. Is there trying to tell Khaldun to get his units down to stop that happening, but I think it's going to be too late. There's far too many NGs. All of that is going to be gone by the time they get there. Why is there pinging? Because Trith wanted to do the same thing. See, he wanted to drop an engineer and grab that reclaim, so he wanted to reclaim all across the map. But all that's going to happen is, don't think that's going to finish. We have T1 RT dropping on top. Well, it does finish, but I think it's going to promptly die because there's just too many RTs. Gets stuff a few kills, but that's all she wrote. Right up here we have Khaldun walking forward with his com, and Abraxas actually reclaiming. So it's like Ponyo managed to get a factory up here, probably with some engineers, but no chance against Apero commanders. In fact, his own comms down here setting up a spam shop. 4 factories around the mix, we're good to go. He has close quarter Maximus over here, but I hear fighting somewhere else. Up here, yes we do. A couple of auto guns having a go at Millen. Doesn't really want to leave his comms standing there too long, especially with Mochula coming in behind, so he'll walk away. There's no way he's hanging around for that. And Mochula's just going to shoo him away, keep this position, maybe repair, maybe not. By the way, Mochula can't really afford to continue chasing. It's going to be sending units to help tip the odds in Lilbot's favour. Picking out down here though, that is an early upgrade going on for T2 upgrade going for Khaldun. If Ponyo had intel, he could start dropping RG shells on these guys. In fact he does, and they do, so that could be an ill-advised spot to sit there and upgrade. He's going to shed a whole bunch of hit points from these things. Oh, don't move away, stay there. But probably not enough other units in the area to make life bad for him, and I think he's going to have no issues completing that upgrade. Yeah, we've got some units rocking in, they're going to take care of those arty. That's a lot of arty actually. They could, nah, they don't have time. Sticking to the upgrade because he really wants to finish it. Going to take a lot of damage though. That, we have these guys coming in, but looks like Maximus is sending some units to support. Whilst down here, Ponyo is on the upgrade of his own on his com. He's going to get gunned, make himself a little bit more resilient. In the middle, Mochula is grabbing a T2 upgrade though to give him some extra health. He's going to under. So opponent side, we have Millenbell going for gun. Checking out on the left, this looks like a small attempt at a run by, though by Neuro's units, and actually has Mochula's ones following in. I don't know if they're going to catch actually. So T1, if these never stop, they're going to keep on going. Fair amount of anti-air in there. 1, 2, 3. 3 anti-air, so that actually drops down the combat capability rounds. And by the time they get to where they're going, there won't be a heck of a lot left because there are units all in. And, well, Neuro's combat's not going to catch up to that. That's going to be a couple of Mantis, which is really all there's going to be. So that might get a few engineers along the way, but I don't think we're going to get too much else done. Should be fine. Alright, checking out down here though, that T2 upgrade finished for Khaldun. It's throwing down a point defense and a flak. He's planning on a shield and probably more. Up in the middle, Abraxas has a sizable force. of T1 spam. It's kind of matched by Maximus. He has zoned in the area, and he's also grabbing a gun upgrade on his commander. We check out the map. It's looking pretty static, pretty even. Got this line across the middle-ish on a diagonal. This is go. It seems even. This was a T2 they're going for. Looks like he's trying to get some damage down on the power, and I think he's going to make it too. That's a whole load of doom. He's shot down, but hey. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 E-gens in the end. Don't know if it was worth it, but certainly an annoyance. Alright, in response, this group here from Abraxas is pushing in the middle. They're going to bag themselves a T2 mix. I cannot see that surviving. Mochel is in the area of his com. He's going to start shooting things down, and also Maximus is moving his units in. Going to just, between the two of them, squash this lot out of existence. Checking out over here, that is... oh, that's cheeky is what that is. Artie's sitting behind the ridge, cannot be shot by the point defense, so Khaldun brings his own artillery out, and that's going to take care of these quite easily. That's a shield upgrade on the way from Maximus as well, so he is going for a gun com. He's got both gun upgrades as it is, and that shield is going to make him quite difficult to dislodge. In the middle here, as expected, these units are finished off by Maximus. But he has another swarm coming in, so that's been put out of position. These units coming in, will we see a reaction from Ponya to move these over to help? Because that's actually a bit of danger. It's calm, especially as he's spread, and indeed they do, they come over to help out. Now he has got the gun, so he's going to be able to shoot things and assist. And there we go. So Abraxas thinks the better of trying to force that. And now that is a shielded Aeon Guncom. And speaking of Guncoms, it looks like Mochel is grabbing gun on his commander. So in addition to the T2 suite for the extra health, a rank of veterancy and a gun, he's going to be so tough to dislodge. That's a tech launcher. It has a missile loaded. Wonder if he's looking for something to shoot. Looks like it was anticipated by Millen, though. He has a PMD sitting right there. I hear, yep. So Ponya with his Seraphim Guncom and Maximus with his Aeon Guncom. Between the two of them, they can probably thin out all of this and put pressure on Khaldun to get out of there, although he is throwing up some T2PD. Looks like he was building a T280 but decided to change it up. That was almost finished by the look of it. Units are just going to get shredded by commanders. Actually, back here we have a small run by. Looks like a single Tham has managed to survive past all of this. And, well, might get a couple of engineers along the way. Might not. That's right. Alright, now speaking of, we mentioned that they could push up here and cause some damage, and that's exactly what Maximus is doing, although I think he's can't dodge Seraphim PD. Do you want to kill the tech defense? It's going to take a very, very long time to get through that shield, and in the meantime his shield is virtually gone, so he kind of doesn't want to stay standing there. In comes the spam though. So the point defense is focused on the com, decides to drop back out of range whilst the spam has got in range and can actually start doing some decent damage, though I don't think there's enough to worry him. Over here though we have Mochelo, so he pushed him with his commander. Ooh, he's very alone there. He did have a shield with him but not anymore, and he's going to start dropping hit points like crazy. He's got a problem because if he brings his army down to support his commander, those units there are free to roam. It's going to be a close one, but over on the right, so the shield is down, everything's down, the Artie's coming in. So Khaldun has decided to evacuate, and evacuate he should, because that's the units. But up here though, we have Mochel, he's down with the yellow, he's down 6,500 hit points, still with a Guncom, and an overcharge takes out a massive clump. Was that 5? And another group of 5, so it looks like Abraxas tried to shift G, his units behind Mochel, promptly overcharges the giant stacks and gets himself more ranks of veterans. He's now into the yellow just on that region alone with those overcharges. Absolutely, look at those units come together. One right there will get you like 5 or 6 at once. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4. But he gets himself out of the hole with some very good overcharges. And off he goes. Back up here though, these units from Maximus have finished pushing Khaldun right out of the area. They take down the army, which was so close to being finished. They finished off the, well, the cheeky armies behind the hill again. So they're doing that. Right, having a look. Crept up to 8,000 hit points. It was down to around 5. And these two guys here are just chilling, although Maximus has to be real careful. Remember, he decided to stand and face tank point defense with his commander, which was not a clever idea. But Ponyo is around with his gun com as well to help out should somebody decide to try and push that. Let's check out our air players. Well, actually, speaking of air players, that is a bunch of Corsairs. Have I caught that at the exact right moment? They're on the move. Morning, food man. How are we doing? That's 5 Corsairs, so he might be under shields, but he does not have any anti-air. Although his shield is up again, so he's... I don't think that's a good idea. Oh no, bad timing, bad timing. He steps out of the shield at exactly the wrong time. Get back under, get back under. Oh my word. One past the Corsairs and his shields drop under half. He wants to get... Oh dear, oh dear. That's so close. In comes the air from New, and they're going to tidy up. Well, they're going to take out the ASFs from Trith first, and then the Corsairs are on their way, deciding we're not hanging around, we're going for other targets. Not a bad move actually. ASFs were forced to go to the Corsairs, which let Trith get his ASFs behind, but the sheer numbers are just too much. That's all she wrote. That could have gone so badly. The timing on that couldn't have been worse. He stepped out of the shield just as the Corsairs tuned up. But we're hearing that T2PD shooting the hill again. I'll tell you what, they really don't like those hills, do they? Really don't. Gives these guys an opportunity to get in closer, kill that, and that's a T2 artillery. So it looks like Khaldun did finish that. It was that close to being done, so he's finished it, wrapped it up a little bit, and it's just going to slowly plink away. In the middle here though, we have some mongoose roaming around. They're going to take out anything T1 remotely within firing range. And is that Mochilo going for a shield on his commander as well? So he's got the gun, he's got T2 upgrade, and he's grabbing shield, so he'll be an extra healthy commander. It's very hard to dislodge. All the action has been down here so far. Up here looks reasonably static. There's a couple of little fights around here, but that area has been ceded by Neuro. Looks like he doesn't want to try and force the fight into there. Instead, he's got himself some units, got himself some defenses here, just going through. And on the other side, we see Mochilo doing the same thing. They could try and run through the middle, but they would be submitted fire from both sides. Back down here, those mongoose are falling back in the face of just superior numbers and finishing the shield. So Mochilo now has a shield com gun and T2, 18,200 hit points, and that's after the shield is taken off. Shield is it? So 19,000 hit points on the shield. 19,000. So he's basically doubled his hit points by putting that shield on. And up here we have the most annoying things of annoying. It is Cybran mobile missile launchers. Extra annoying because as soon as that missile gets shot, it splits into 3 and you just go grrr. Very annoying. But they are being shot away by a squad of Vultures, which meet another squad of Vultures. But they have a habit of running into this point defense, which is a bad idea. Very bad for your health. Grabbed a couple of kills already, and this mobile force can just keep moving around or keep distracting the rocket boss, distracting the missile launchers, and things will be fine from that point. Looking at the air game, and we're still just working on ASFs. All he needs to do right now, just get some air. He lost all of his to New World, who was well ahead. Two air factories on the up and running. He's got a bunch of ASFs compared to his one, also with a single reactor. He is focusing on getting some more mass up. Alright, small group over here tried to run by, but is being deterred by a large group of Zoes. Over here though we see that you want to try shootable, but you've got a T2 artillery popping on your spot. Not much going for it, but the action's up here just at the moment. This force keeps on coming back and forth, and posturing here from Neuro as well, so he doesn't want to let them get too close, but he can't afford to chase because that is a far bigger force. That is, it's attack missile. It's a very, very slow moving attack missile. It's going all the way up here to kill T1 mechs, I'd imagine. And it looks like those guys got caught out a little bit. Boom, there it goes. Takes out the engineers as well, because why not? I imagine that was probably from this here. Yes, it was. It's 11 kills on that missile launcher. It's a 2-star vet, and Mochilo. Well, he's might have bitten off a little more than he could chew. Down to half health, he does regen pretty quick. He's up to 4 stars now. It's a 4 vet commander, and he's dropped back in range of his own point defense. So I think he's going to be absolutely fine on that front. 5 stars now, and he has 21,000 hit points total, 16.5 on the regen compared to 13.5 million, so he could even wander out as he is right now and take down Millen. But that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the fight going on, and that's a little bit of run past by Ponya. So these Zoes are going to pick up a couple of mixes, going to pick up the radar, go for the factory. Don't stop, you will be killed. Don't stop. Actually, both of these groups should keep moving. These should keep moving so they can take out this. They should keep moving so they can kill them. Hate to see it. Right there. You reckon, Depony? I mean, it seems to be doing okay, although this spot is under RD fire. 1, 2 artillery. Yeah. And he's wasting a lot of mass assisting that shield, actually. A lot of mass going on that. And we have a look in his base. Well, hasn't even, sorry, is that a T3 mix before it's capped? Okay, Depony, you might be right. Just might be right on that. So, folks, for those who aren't quite aware, the best way to efficiently upgrade is to ring your T2 mixes with storage, then upgrade to T3. Tests have been done, and that's actually a more efficient way to yeah, also, hello. Yeah, it's actually more efficient to ring your T2 mixes first, then upgrade to T3. I didn't do the calculations, somebody else did, and I trust them. But here he is, running around with this combat front again, almost ripped up to full, and killed 10k mass, so it hasn't done awful. But right here, that shield is dropping. He's trying to throw up some point defense to help secure it, but units coming in, they're going to help drop the shield by doing a little bit of extra damage, and that is still just the 2 RD, but 2 get some granules is enough, and here he is, just tanking things with the face of his commander again, throwing down overcharges, killing off clumps. 7,500 killed. Whereas Nero hasn't even got 1 rank yet. Oh, I spoke too soon. Here it is. Alright. Oh, he's not sniped? Well, this is their air player. 20 minutes in, still a single factory, has just finished his second. Yeah. They tried to do an air snipe down here on Maximus earlier with a few Corsairs, but there's been nothing since. Both the air players have been pretty quiet. New World has himself 3 active air factories now. And still he hasn't put out any kind of supporting aircraft, it's all just ASFs. I haven't seen a single bomber from him. To see 5-6 Corsairs from Trith, but that was it. He's now focusing on eco and air. At the moment he is 15 ASFs compared to 34, so he's well behind. And there's Mochulu. Shield done half the sides. I'm done now. I'll walk away. Back. We actually saw a... is there any reason you are not attacking here? Guys are very lovely to each other. Yep. In fact, nature's just come and we can see this position has been munched while I was distracted thanks to the assistance of T3RD. So those T2RD plus the T3, this position is absolutely gone. 1550, oh really? 1800 health versus 1725, well it's not that bad. Really even. Still going on that tech launcher, which has now got 15 kills. You see this position is pretty much gone, and his commander now has T3 to deal with, but he does have overcharge, so he's not going to be too that a single unit. Nah, here he comes. Here comes the overcharge, and it's gone. So drip drab and T3 units, not the best plan, but this entire section is just absolutely gone. I imagine we'll see the tech launcher focus down any second now, and the experimental. What? GC. So the first experimental of the game, and it's the GC from Maximus. So he's been ecoing very nicely. He's got himself up to 190. So I think that's stable, not reclaim. So he might have the most, except for maybe Trith. But anyway, that is just in time too, because that's a nice large T2 force coming in, and it's just going to hoover those up. But we're going to watch out down here because experimental is over there, but more enemies over here, and well, I guess you could say he's got a very chunky com, so he should survive long enough to help take those out. Could do with building some point defense like T1 instead of T2. They've got much more DPS. And they're trying to take down, well, they're going to take down the anti-air thing, which is sitting just outside of the shields. What is the point of the factories? Is he trying to block them coming in? I don't get it. By the way, he's got pointers in the area too, with some bushies and a whole bunch of hardies, so they're going to get nothing done. But checking out the middle though, and Mochulu is still wandering around with his commander, just deciding to face tank pretty much everything. Stand there and shoot down a mix. You do that, buddy. He's got nothing. And okay, Neuro finishes a... I say Neuro, but I think he had heavy assistance from the air player, so the air player may have helped out with that GC as well. So having a look at it, that gives team down here 2 experimentals to none. Are any actually even being worked on? Well, we have an experimental here. Another chicken up there from Millen. It's going up reasonably quick. You'd like to think it would get finished before these 2 get there. Anyone else? Not that we see. So 2 experimentals, this is none but building, and we see the GC just wanders up here and just obliterates all of this. Gone. Keep walking, bring your units with you, not your commander. You've got an experimental, it's entirely possible the other team does as well. At this point stage I would not be walking my commander forward, especially because that's going to be a very focused item. Speaking of focused and walking commanders forward, well, it looks like Mochulu's shield has dropped out. Is he taking damage directly? He is. So he's going to run away because, you know, like it or not, chunky or not, there's still spam, there's still T3 in there, so he can take a bit of damage. And he's actually getting sandwiched between 2 armies right here, but I think he's going to very much enjoy the support of Nero's Yathota. Down to the health though, down into the yellow. Looks like he's trying to skirt around the edges to get away from these. Overcharge flies out, and yeah, I think this Yathota is absolutely about to save his butt. He was dead. Without us coming in to deal with the T3, without being able to hide behind the hill, he would have absolutely been dead. And he's actually still in the red, and there's still units coming in, and he's still got T280 flying over, so yeah, I think falling back a very, very long way would be the best idea. Where is that GC? Well, we've got strats out. They're not going for the GC though, that's not the right angle. Have they spotted Maximus? They have. Oh, shield gone and down to. There's got to be an air scramble from New World. Oh, is that a bad term? They're going to turn right in front of the ASF. Yes, they are. Dodge for all you. Actually, he drops in behind some mobile shields. He has got a Redeemer with him to help out as well. Down to the rear, 2,700. Is that all the stress? Are they all gone? No, there's another one, but he is under shields. He should be fine as long as he doesn't walk out of them. Stay under those shields, you fool. Another bomber comes in. Down go the shields. One more bomber would do it. I don't... Why? It dropped. It dropped. Boom. That is Maximus out. Why would you have your commander that far forward at the stage of the game? And that, of course, is the GC. That's going to die, and this full share's on. Do we have full share? No, we don't. There was absolutely no reason for his comm to be that far out, and that is a massive kill. All of this is now wide open. Ponya, I don't know if he's realised he's no longer standing under shields, and he's got, well, T1 spam with a few Ushivas, which are currently up here, just trying to take some things out as you do with Ushivas. But check out the GC, there it is. So that is Neuro Ul's GC facing the wrong way, getting shot in the back by siege tanks. Stop, turn around, shoot, return fire, anything. What are you doing? Getting backstabbed. I hear more bombers. Oh, it's T1 over there. Never mind. There we go. Finally turns around and starts shooting. Kill some things, make some vet, but these guys over here are carrying on through. They're taking care of the eco. That is a T3? T2. T2 mech's gone down there. Turn around and shoot. Stop facing away. Stop being a chicken. Face your enemies. And these things are just going to roll right through. Just a bunch of Vipers and Wagners. Why would you want Wagners instead of Rhinos? They got a better alpha? Possibly. But anyway, down here, where did that GC go? Well, it's down here, and is that... Yep. That is Truth coming in with NGC. He's going to want to reclaim that mass. Somebody's got to. And actually that... You mentioned the Yathoto from Milan was getting built. Well, that got done, and it is going to catch out Neuro's GC. It's going to go down. Lost about half his health, but it gets a rank of veterancy from killing that. Now wants to run away from the lightning storm and be good. But up here though, these units have had some fun. They've taken out a bunch of eco, taken out a bunch of units. Should carry on moving. Nothing here to stop them, and that's a crab. Whoa, that's a crab almost done. 2/3 of the way through, 90k, and Mochulu is still wandering around the front with his commander. As experimentals on the map. He's seen them. To run his little butt away. He's got some Titans over here. Trying to take out some of the spam, but look at the reclaim going on here. So Truth is grabbing all of that, and he's going to finish that experimental right after Fat Boy. There it is. So Newwood completes the Fat Boy, being UEF. What else would you build? And was that actually a second GC? Oh my gosh. So Maximus getting sniped, I think, has tilted the tables of this game hugely. He had a GC over here right on the doorstep, and he had a second one which was basically completed in his base, so he was well ahead. But in the middle here now, we hear that chicken opening up. And Mochulu is definitely running away with his commander. It's going, not much he can do there. A very long way to any kind of safety. Though there is a Fat Boy which could help thin out numbers. Looks like Neuro is getting a repair upgrade on his comm. Oh, you don't want to be fighting with it, but he has a chicken of his own just standing here being more defensive. Could move in and try to help out there, but the Fat Boy has spotted the Venus and opens up. Mochulu here with his comm. You are playing with fire, my friend. That chicken might take long to kill you with your shield and your ranks and veterancy or not. Your only hope is that it decides to run away from the Fat Boy, which itself should be running away from the chicken because it cannot stand toe to toe. And is he stalling power? Because that is a shield blip if ever I saw one. Not great timing. And Mochula's over here actually. Uh oh, he has been found by the chicken. And just look at those hit points go. See you later. The big ball of doom comes in. Can't think of any reason you'd want to keep your commander near the front lines 30 minutes into a game when you've already seen experimentals. And speaking of, that crab's over here just holding the fort. And I think he's trying to arty down the health. Yep, so using arty to reduce the reclaim on that. Not a bad plan. Picking out the Fat Boy did drop back, as did the Thoza, which is down to 2,500. Very close to death there, and in fact there's another one over here that could just wander over to the right, give it a nudge, and it'll fall over. Fat Boy rolls around, just going to pick up, and that is Tituati. Takes one to the shoulder, and keeps on wandering. Let's check out the air game though. Has Trith had time to catch up? Well, he's got 30. No, New World had more than that. Is he stalling mass? He best be overflowing that. Don't see him reclaiming anything, so that's actually mass ink. Oh no, there it is. So he'll be overflowing that to his teammates, and they'll be very grateful. But it's his 30 ASF versus 103, so honestly, New World needs to use that air advantage. He has so much more air. It's got a few broadswords out, so those will be handy. And I could take out a megalith quite easily. Those dots. Is that T1 Arnie that's missed the map and is falling down? Possibly. By the way, it looks like he has switched up to broadsword production. Plenty of assistance on that, and that's going up pretty quickly. So, he is going to do something with his ear. Checking out the middle though, we have that Fat Boy and is firing it. That must be a fresh Thoza. Yes it is. Where's the other one going? Well, it's over here. Probably going to park it up somewhere, Control K out of range of other things, and then reclaim it. Watch out for that death ball of course, so find a spot, Control K, and be happy. Have a check out a herder strat, and there it is. It's dropping on a few hapless siege tanks. Probably wanted them to try and stop the reclaim coming in. 6,500 left. By the time they die, how much they're going to leave behind? They are T3 units. Bomb. Yeah, okay. Crab has wandered its way forth, and it's just going to absolutely melt. It's T1 Artie. Look at it go. Please tell me. Good. Ponya is not still there with this com. But T1 Artie still does a bit of damage to a crab. Once it gets in range and drops a hell lot of shells on, so they have already taken off 10,000 hit points of the thing. Not terrible. Where are those broadswords? Now would be a great time. I guess you could wait for it to get closer, but there's absolutely zero anti-air with that. Turn your Fat Boy around please. Don't roll it in towards the big nasty crab. Gunfire coming over, and oh, that Fat Boy's so lucky the crab turned around. So lucky. Nope, and it's turned back. Fat Boy's dead. It has fallen within range of the crab, and it is 100% dead. That was a very bad idea. Also some T3 rolling around with that crab. Got a couple of Percivals, a bunch of those. We have a siege tank over here. I'm going to say blap. Wait. Okay. Indeed, Control K. Okay. Sorry, now I remember. This was that chat I was talking about. Mochula died right about here to a chicken which just wandered down and caught up with him. He was still at the front here when there were experimenters on the field, so he deserved to die. Up front, like a noob, to a chicken. And it looks like New World decided to throw in the towel on this. I'm not too sure why. I thought he was in a pretty strong position air-wise. He had like 3 times the ASF of Trith. He had a significant amount of eco. He could have done anything with it. But his Control K has basically left his team Nothing. This looks like a meme. This is T1 bomb spam coming in towards Ponya, who has no anti-air. Actually, he's got not much of anything. All his focus has been over here. We're trying to hold this section. But say hello. And a strat. Thrown of good measure. And some ASF. Alright. Memory begin. I think this is the end of the game here. Can't dodge tier 1 bombers, mate. And the strat gets skill. Strat gets skill. Then there was Nero. He doesn't have much either. Not too surprising if you think about it, if the airplane control cage, and that really took the game out. I think if he'd stayed it would have been better, but this is how it went. So, a few mistakes in this game. I think the absolute biggest one was from Maximus, 1300 rated player, whose commander is up here for absolutely no reason. No reason at all. He's built an experimental. No experimentals in the game. He went out with no support. Gets himself sniped by strat bombers. Like the very last strat bomber managed to drop a bomb literally as it died. And this was the bomb that killed him. That left a gap. Wasn't the end of the world. They did manage to hold on, managed to fight back. They had good air control. Chillo, being what Chillo, apparently you know him Taboni, he decided to wander around with his comm. He was all the way up to about here with his commander while experimentals were on the field. Seen experimental from Nero push up here and get killed by another chicken, and he was still about here. He finally decided to start walking away about that point. What took him so long? Who knows. But instead of continuing to run away straight down while the chicken was chasing him, he stopped to move over this way, away from support, and died to the chicken over there. I don't know what he was thinking. That's it. So taken away by Team 1 up the top, they actually ended up losing not a single player, and despite being behind Eco by a game, they win from a mistake in a control game. That was our second game of the night. So I did finish head off and did get a bit of salty at the end there, which is probably part of the control K. I can't remember the words exactly, but they were not nice. What we're going to do is we are going to freshen us 1v1. Alrighty, we had a reasonable 1v1 into that. Simple 1v1 at the start. Times got some experimentals out, no nukes. Right then, so back into the 1v1, and it is pizza time. You want to Crossfire Canal, it is the pizza. You want to get hover or you want to get air. You want to drop on your side spots. Anyway, so starting up the top here, and in red it's a proper ladder 1v1. So we have Barga Russ. Barga Russian, so he's going to be Barga from here. And he is UEF, opening first lanes, a whole bunch of power, I would imagine. And his opponent today down in blue has gone with Aeon. Land as well, going to keep us guessing a little bit. Plans are, but I imagine we'll see some power and see some factories and more drops. Right, as far as the reclaim goes on this map, well, it's just kind of dotted all around the place, but all around the place, and there is 54,000 of it. Literally all around the place, everywhere. See, but don't lose focus. Don't focus on those so much because there's just heaps of it. Your money is on the UEF player, so you're calling out Bag of Loon. Well, you've got some time to find out. So it's in. Anything to bet. That's the way we go. So Aeon may have a bit of an early advantage because he does have the hover for T1. So if you wanted to T1 spam, he could cause a nuisance. But of course, Navy is very important. get Navy pressure and your opponent does not, you can basically get anywhere. And as you say, particularly the UEF, their cruisers with those TAC missiles are a nightmare. Aeon have no TAC missiles on cruisers, so they Seraphim. Checking out though, slow starts. Just gonna tick past this while they do the thing. See, they're both very similar build patterns. We've got the land factory, a bunch of air factory. I imagine some of the first things we'll see is maybe a single interceptor or a scout, followed by a transport to take engineers to size. Young player walked and changed orders 3 times. UEF will have. Oh, he's done. Oh, Aeon already has here. And he's actually going straight for a transport, so he's going full on for it, as is the UEF player. I think it's because he kept his build assistance here, so he's kept engineers to help build, and then he's lined them up ready for the transport. Alright, let's drop the speed back down to normal. Going to be a full complement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it is. So 6 engines out for the Aeon player, whilst we have not yet even completed the transport. Nope, there we go. Not have engineers lying in wait to pick up. Probably going to grab 1, 2, 3. It's engineers. No, going to grab all 3. Fly on off and a bit of defense. So Konark is moving over to the left already with those NGs. Going to drop them here and there. Typical places. No, shoot his right nut off. Or he'd at least assist himself. Where's he dropping? He's going for the aggressive drop as well, so he actually wants to get over here and claim the spot away from Konark. So aggressive play, whereas Konark is just going for his neighbouring facility. Now he is going to have to be careful. If he drops with that bomber in the air, Konark could just turn around and kill every single engineer on that. Will he see it? Surely he sees this. Attention. Or is it going to sneak past? Even Beating Interceptor comes around and takes out the bomber anyway. So that's a successful drop. There's the factories. That's a play from Barger to grab the side island, and he managed it so far. Boy, back on this one though, we have single factory, engineers out, grabbing. Hydro looks like radar and a couple of, imagine, down those pesky bombers, and these guys are going up to build some factories which are likely to queue out engineers to grab all the reclaim. What I would do, and I'm a noob. Checking out down here though, that factory is done and instantly out with the engineers. Okay. Total, so Konark is actually ahead in the mass. He is 4.944.5k and also up on the power side of things, so he's got more eco. Head. Warned Bugger. Russ is actually warned the engineer over here as well. He's picked up a couple of factories, so he's got a presence on the slab. So right now the slab presence is a total factory up here as well, so I would say that's 4-2. So Baggerus has gone for expansionistic and he made it work for us. Wants to do, I do hear bombs. So himself up a couple of kills, he's killed off a couple of NGs just to be an annoyance. Has been tagged by a pair of interceptors, so probably not going to get much more done. There it goes. But Baggerus could be up here with the units, like these tanks should be up here ready to stop this, because I now think it's too far to go for them to actually stop them from building a factory. That is 4 engineers. They will build a factory. That's the right guy to win 4 slices to 2. Say 4 slices to 2. But anyway, so you see they're building a factory that's going up really quickly. Radar as well, so if he finishes these, then game for there. Transport getting shot down. It already dropped off his engineers though, doesn't matter. And a defensive bomber coming out. That's all the action there is right now. Move back up to here, and the factory is done. The engineers will die, but the factory is done. And that is going to be difficult to dislodge with just a few tanks. Engineer will die. Don't see anything start building out of that. A single artillery piece would help take that down much quicker. We have an air fight over Konarak's base. Not the best place to battle, especially for numbers. Maybe it started out with similar, but it did not end there. And we have, well, I mentioned Navy, and looks like Bagravus is going for Navy, as 5 factories lined up and none yet planned. Konarak, so Bagravus has this slice, he's working on this one and that one, he's contesting for the 4th one, whilst Konarak has, well, he looks more developed over here. Slice, and there's the air fight going up over here, and why would you not finish off the factory? Get them back, it's still there. Please. Bomber circling around over here, but if he kills, as long as he kills that factory, it will be all good, because that would deny more time of Konarak being on this. Wouldn't do a miss to pop out some archers. So now there's more tanks coming in, so the factory will die. I don't see that being stopped. Let's pick off an engineer. There we go, archers. There's some air defense, so he should be able to hold this a while longer. And in fact, he's even made a drop. Transport that got shot down, I think, somewhere around there. But he's actually dropped some tanks on here to be more of a nuisance, but of course there's a couple of bombers around to ruin his fun. Looks like they should make it over here, probably kill the radar, probably not the mix, the bombers will take care of that. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Already there's units coming out. Honestly, he could just spew out a bunch of subs and just have them patrolling in the likely areas. Although no, they can't do that because these is Aeon and Aeon Engines hover, so they won't be able to kill the Engines. Alright, there's the first factories planned from Karnok. Yep, down the other side, just those ones. It's quite the whole. Needs more engineers. These are all combat units. Oh, there's an engineer. Let's get some more reclaim going on that. Get some more going, and here we have the first. But having a float around. So he contested quite heavily for that, but he's underdeveloped on his other slices. See all these unclaimed mass extractors, whereas Konarak has gone absolutely hard for it. And look at all this. I mentioned there was about reclaim. Well, Konarak is doing his best to grab as much as possible, and he's got himself ahead 6k total mass. And you're right about the income. Let's have a look see. Actually 37 income versus without the power stall. Hostile and power use, silly muppet, I cannot tell. I think it's about even. Just because he hasn't grabbed a lot of these mixes. But the total mass, you see the reclaim stats. 4.3 to 10. So Konarak has reclaimed over twice as much. This is Bagravus, and that is making it's in the totals over here. He must be hit on Eco. So we've got expansion versus Eco, and I mentioned the hover and the raiding that Aeon could do. I started as a sizable force, and there's just simply not enough over here to stop it. Got a few bombers here they could send over. He could send some frigates out to try and cut them off. His attention is elsewhere at this stage. Some reclaim going on. Doing. Conrad will fall off in 5 to 10 minutes. Right, because he's only got the 2 versus 4 slices. He needs to contest this, and he needs to clear it so he can claim the eco for himself. Sure, he's got the early. He's got the going on, but once that reclaim is gone, there's still all of this, that bug. So, and well, you have some naval factories, but you don't have any units, and here come some Thunderheads. Now, build them. Come in, they're gonna actually kill a bomber. Wow, actually killed a bomber for a change. And now they're here shooting factories. So we've got some submarines started. If they're too close to the commander, we could reclaim them, but no, they're going to pop over here and just start tickling the navy factories down, and more units coming in. The looks like Baga is also patrolling down here to watch for this exact situation popping up, and we have, I'm going to get that guy further down, but let's check out up here, and this looks like a pretty comprehensive clean sweep for Konoraksha on this slice. Bombers coming and supporting, wars around destroying, and that is, I'm going to say that's lost. I don't see Bagarus holding on to that. Let's check for tech though, and we do not have any tech such here. That is all T1 for him. No, this is barely any factories. Any upgrade on naval? No, these are all still T1 as well. Well, no, I take that back, sorry. That is halfway towards T2. Be nasty. Check for tech in his base. So, oh, there we go. So we do have T2 air. So tech on the ground for Konorak, and he can start getting some T2 power as well, which will help us eco even further. And speaking of T2 power, he pops one right as I say it. He's got 2 planes. That's going to help him out. But he has basically lost this navy. Nothing left, and their engineers are just being led to the slaughter. Thunderhead's cleaning up. Got another factory up here, which these guys would do well to move up and also stop that torpedo launcher. Get a move on before you lose them. And despite there being a submarine sitting down here, I think he's 100% missed those. Yes, he has. Really should get a patrol order for that. That is a shame. It is actually letting Konorak into the Navy game quite heavily. Now there's been a deny spot. Thunderheads are in. Yeah, it looks like they're taking down NGs, then they'll take down the torp launcher, and then the factory. There's a single Sylph out, which is just slowly going to gradually tickle these things down to dead. Very low DPS, but they have an option to shoot back, so they might as well shoot the factory. It is where the rebuttal will come from. It's for unscouted factories, so HQ there, we could see cruisers coming out, because I believe, because Baga has not scouted these, he's going to think has pressure, so it would make sense from this point of view to make a cruiser. And those tech missiles are going to be a problem. And against these, check it over here. So still working on cleaning out the slice. Bombers come flying over to get shot down. Did they even release a single bomb? Oh, there we go. Here's one. One bomb to kill one Aurora and damage a few others. And these just get shredded. Okay. In slices. So Baga was unable to hold this slice over here, and looks like he is bringing his navy up. Probably going to come up here to try and prevent. Yep, there we go. Good plan. Get them up here to prevent crossing over. Oh. These guys are just going to sit here and slowly die to a Sylph. They're not even coming back down this way. Oh no, he's got a spy plane patrolling around, so that'll let him know factories are started up. Torpedo launchers are in the mix to help defend against that eventually. Alright, let's double check back on the eco now, and Konorak is now 10k ahead. Have a double check, so income of 102. This is 99, so ahead just slightly, although that is a very full mass bar from Bagarus. You could use that to grab a couple of T2 mixes right away. Should, because he still has T1 all over the place. Let's check the mixes for Konarak, and he's 12 T2 mixes. So there's a few ahead on that. Definitely do with upgrading some of these other ones. Check things out. Still looks like he's just focusing up on Swiftwinds. Now, I heard a rumour that mass for mass, Swiftwinds aren't as good as Interceptors. Heard a rumour. Don't know about the truth of that, but to make a Swiftwinds, you need 35 mass. So 4 Interceptors versus 1 Swiftwind. See that Swiftwinds do have better speeds, they can actually catch. Didn't have its way, but it's going to have to be careful. Spam could easily redirect towards it. Sink it. Still have, well, finally that sub moves, and oh hello. Look, naval factories. Right about now, he's going to be worried, and that's a lot of subs. That's a lot of subs, and here come the torque bombers. Over torque bombers into a cruiser one by one is a really bad idea. You can give that free vet, and yep, you can see that Sobaga has seen these. Well, it's T2 naval factory really, and that is Barracudas. Looks like he is going for subs, which is actually a reasonable response to a cruiser because it has no defenses against it, whereas if he had some destroyers they would. Another couple of torpedoes out, and that cruiser is running for his life. It's like a small army chase down, and a whole lot here more, and in fact looks like Konarak has gotten back in the water on this side too, so out producing. It's 3 T1 and 2 T2 factories compared to 10 single T2, so Barbaros is actually in danger of being overrun in the Navy game because he did not scout any of this, and he's let him get into the water really well. This cruiser's going to go down. It's got nothing, no defenses against this. Just going to slowly die. Does help take out some frigates, but more subs coming in, so that's a lot of subs. Got another cruiser over here. I can start doing some work on some mixes just to be a real pain in the ass. So looking pretty even, though I would say Konarak has come back down from just 2 slices and now holds 3, and it is fairly similar. Is that just reclaim? It's 18,000 ahead, Baga, and now he has much more build power. So we could see a shift in the Navy. Careful, there we go, there's some more factories lined up by Barbaros. He knows he needs them, but he still hasn't got all this build power. 8. And in fact, there we go, we have T2 here as well. Spectre is floating around just picking off units one by one, because why not? Engineers coming over and get themselves all set up on the beachhead with units in proximity that could, well, do that basically. Pick them off one by one. These guys could come over and help out, and honestly throw in a couple of anti-air, or even get T2 and pop out some Riptides. I think he's planning for a land excursion. Over here, a small air fracas, which really was a bad idea, and Konarak loses all. Well, he had some Swiftwinds. Here's another one. Rivers appears way ahead in the land game, and uh-oh. Speaking of those hover coming over being naughty, we have Riptides in the area which may be able to help out. In fact, looks like there's already been a battle here. This is the second wave. Got radar. Does he know it's coming? Well, he doesn't. How does he not have radar? Oh my word, he's got absolutely zero idea of the swarm of Aurors coming from over here. Look at them all. That is 60 Auroras ready to just come swarming over. 6 Riptides? Well, Riptides are okay, but I don't think they're 10 to 1 okay. Especially when they shoot the ground. Move. Yeah. Over on the flip side, we have Riptides down here, and they are cleaning up some engineers. They'd be very welcome to wander on over and do some more damage. Checking out the air situation. Well, we've still just got T2 for Konarak, nothing else. His land remains at T1. Yeah, he's mostly on. Now we have a shield. Oh, shield boats are a great addition to any naval fleet, but oh, we do have T2 land, of course. T2, so no T3 on there, not even T2 air. So Bagarus is sticking with the Navigates radar. He's sticking with the T1 air, just going to spam out interceptors to cover himself, and he now knows all about this group. Next to the radar. Here though, Slot still no. Oh, there's a destroyer, taking some damage, done some work, but cruisers are just going to gradually boom, boom. See you at the bottom of the ocean. A good idea to still in Ranger cruisers. Ever, that's a whole nother load of T1. Destroyers are coming at a scary rate with assistance. Up here though, and have just wandered around and taken out that mass extractor there. They've taken out this one there. They've taken out, going to take out that one, or they're going to carry it past and ignore it. Carry on past. Check out the middle though. It's a navy battle. Too many cruisers. No opponent has navy. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 cruisers, 2 destroyers in the mix. I think it's a mistake. You have with the submarines, they're all in here. They're going to creep inside the shields any moment now. Might get stopped, but destroyers from Konarak can as well. They're going to shoo away this group, and they kind of need to fall back, because as soon as that shield drops, this army is done for. Especially, yep, now the other side shield goes, and I think we're going to see a wipe and a win for Konarak, so he's going to own the mid-ocean. It's not great, because that is a lot of subs. You know, I don't normally think of subs as a good thing to do. Get them in a huge number. I'll do it right. Checking out down here though, and Riptide stopped for some reason. And they're just gradually being killed off one by one. So Bagarus has his attention elsewhere. I'm going to imagine it's going to be over here. T2 Navy is, well, yeah, being swamped by subs. Just romping on in. So destroyers can take it a good lot. They do have their own torpedoes and torpedo defense, but the cruisers have absolutely nothing. We're going to die one by one, and it's just too many destroyers to handle. But we can say goodbye to that. Single frigate down here, just chilling, not doing much. No assistance on these factories. Another one going for T2 over there. These ones are doing nothing. Vespa. Did I call it Barracuda before? I did. I called it Barracuda. Well, it's Vespa. Barracuda is the Siren. Shamak from memory. Yeah. Right now, Eris could well do with some T2 air, so he could build torpedo bombers. Look at the same thing. This is 80% done towards. And Konarak doing a gun upgrade? I imagine that's probably going to be defensive from more Riptides swarming over. But speaking of swarms, subs are just going to be nasty. Any engineers that decide to pop onto the water can be killed, of course, by UEF. They are not hover, they float on top, and they do get Checking out the middle though, and more cruisers. You've just had your navy wiped by subs. Building more cruisers. I think that is a poor decision. Got some riptides out though, they're going to help thin out the frigates. But they're not going to help thin out the submarines. They're going to do nothing. Single destroyer. Looks like it's a very, very heavy sub mix from Konarak, but it is paying off. It is absolutely paying off. Single cruiser wandering out, and it's not going to last long with another, destroyer. It's not going to last. Destroyer over here, and how many subs do you want? He has 30 T1 submarines and a few T2 thrown into the mix. They will make short work of just about anything. Riptide's trying to do some work. They will. I believe they'll get this destroyer down. Fairly tough. Unless they forget to move and let them get out of range. Bad idea. And now, well, that's the HQ. I think we're about to see Bargavros get ejected from the water as well. This factory's going down, that one's going down. The HQ is dying a horrible death, and all of these are under threat as well. I think he can count himself lucky that Aeon don't have aggressive cruisers. Else he would be losing everything. In fact, we did mention Riptides being as a counter to hover over, and there they go, a nice merry band over there. Check out the eco. Konarak has come back in a big way. 136 income versus 167 looks stable. See the reclaim figures as well. 20,000 more by Konarak, and it shows in the end result. Absolutely bossing it. Gotta say, at this point, I don't think it's looking that great for Bargavros. He seems to have been, aside from this initial push onto this slice over here, this bit of aggression, which grabbed him all this, seems like he's been a little more reactive, and, well, it's a tack launcher. Hasn't got any kills, so it's been spotted before it can get anything done. So those T1 bombers will take care of that. Yeah, everything he's done since then looks like he's been reactive rather than proactive. So something's happened, he's reacted to it, rather than being the one to start the changes. Down goes the tack launcher. Come the Riptides and clean things up. Over here, some more Riptides, and they're going to take out some Ardy. These T1 bombers make a nuisance of themselves. Destroyers in the mix as well. Hover, in fact T2 hover, so Konarak has decided you want blazers. I'll give you blazers and see how they fare against your Riptides. Of course, Riptides faring against destroyers don't do that great at range. Right, all naval factories are gone. We have got a whole bunch of torpedo bombers from Konarak, but I don't think they've got anything to go for. Unless they find these naval factories over here, so Bargavros is trying to get back into the Navy scout theory. I don't know if he has air coverage. Nope, he does not. I think though, some more eco going down. That's just not good. Now behind 40,000 mass. You doing with your E? He's still on T2 air. That looks like his focus was in Navy, which he's paused because he has won it, or believes he's won it, which is some Riptides tried to come over, but this appears to be exactly why Konarak upgraded his commander, to be a deterrent for that kind of thing. They're just going to keep going past and ignore him. Nothing going to get through to be a nuisance, but I don't know if they're going to get enough done. Especially with some Spectres around. No anti-air to speak of. Wait. Up here though we have... Let's roll our flak. and shield, which is blinking on and off. In fact, there goes Janus dropping some more bombs, getting shot down almost straight away. Looks like that's not their first pass because there's only a single flak in there, so he's got himself a few kills, not enough, but Riptide's pushing back. Appears they are quite superior to Blazers. It's going to go there. Check it out here though, those Riptides tried to carry on to get over to this slice. A few of them almost made it through. If Konorak was paying attention, he'd redirect his forces back to take care of these Riptides. But I think these are scheduled to go somewhere else, and instead they're going to just wander up into the middle and take out those. And you fire. Oh, missed. It's a stationary target. Come on. That's better. Honestly. Checking out here though, we do have some cruisers thrown into the mix by Konorak, so he does not like the torpedo bombers. It's going to be cleared out. More Blazers rolling around, taking out some T1. Having a bit of fun. And over here, well, the Riptides did get a bit of distance, and a lot of out of fuel interceptors came over to try and give them support against the gunships, but compared to the active air and swift winds of Konorak, they're just going to get melted. Every time there's a pass going over, they go away. Spectres are going to finish off any kind of incursion there. I did mention these two guys up the top, and they have, well, they're taken out two. I don't think they're going to get another one though, because there's a run of other T2 coming their way. Going to try for another mass extractor, but I feel they're going to die first. Especially if they change targets. What's on there? Just look at that middle though. It is a sea of blue, literally a sea of blue, because that is all navy. And he's just got these on patrol to make sure he doesn't get back into the navy game. He's actually getting back to the navy game down here. So outside chance, I think, way outside chance, is that a sniper attempt? Was Bagheris hoping to catch Konorak unawares? It's going to work with that. Could just be a couple of Janus out to try and tickle him off, but I think he's going to be having a hard fight. He's now 60k mass behind side of things, so he hasn't managed to rebuild any of those lost mass extractors on his main island. He has taken a few out here, but of course they're just going to claim all the wrecks back and rebuild pretty quickly. Some more Riptides down here. You can have a go at a frigate and take that down pretty quickly, except for the supporting destroyer, which is going to finish them off. Imagine. And then already some engineers in the area to reclaim the mass, so I think it's just a matter of time. Let's see, still T2 land, T2 air. Actually, he's gone for T3. T3 air factory. That's some engineers out, so that might, if he can pull something out with a T3 air, he might be on with a chance, but I say that. And well, Konorak has done the same thing. He's got T3 air and he's got T3 engineers just rush hour. And in fact, he's so annoyed at the T1 engineers being away, he just control Ks them so he can build power. It's going up way fast, so not building. Oh, there we go. Broadswords. The broadswords coming out. Run that while he does, he's okay. What he doesn't have is the mass. 120 income to 178, I think, stalling on that power. So I'm going to get a better read. No, 208. So 124 to 208. Oh, did he complete something? About to lose something anyway. So 200. So I think he's got like twice the income right now of Bagheris, so he's ahead. He's just going to get more and more ahead. He's got bring Bagheris off this slice. He's got this slice under control. He's only missing a couple of mass extractors, whereas Bagheris is missing a. So behind on Nico, behind on Tech. Trying to pop out a broadsword, but that's taken a while to build comparatively. Focusing on power first. No matter of time. It's the T2 Navy. Go T3. He's got this under control, but T2. Looks like Konarek is about to discover all of the naval factories along here, because these Spectres are going for a wander. Hello. See these guys get redirected. What's your plan? It's down their patrol. It's down their patrol. Looks like he's going to use the Spectres to try and take things out there. But there are some interceptors in the area which will clean those out, and that's just too many. Try and roll off. Alright, checking out here. Action started. Well, we've got 2 T3 actors. Surely see something like ASFs or bombers or something be coming out of this soon. Over here we have, well, we completed our first broadsword and it's sitting right here. It's ASF. So Garrus wanting to get into the air game is needing that power though. Oh no, he's okay. Over here, Swiftwinds are tidying up the interceptors. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more coming in to take out these factories. No anti-air over here to speak of, aside from frigates, so the Spectres will have a fine day. Up here though, another attempt to roll on in. See a 3 vet wind defense? Or was it at least 2, maybe 3. Definitely paid for itself. And hover coming over. Looks like they want to help clean up over here. Checking out the rest of the map, and well, another small raid from Vegas. So these guys trying to get some work done. Got a few kills amongst them, not doing too badly, and if they can manage to get up here they can kill the engines. Defensive Riptides won't stand a chance against that many blazes. And of course the Fervors can't get over, they're just ID, so I imagine that's a defensive group. And there we have it, the subs are coming in. Certainly got a large number of his own submarines, however. Some frigates in the mix to maybe distract torpedoes, but no, Konarek has his own frigates as well. And he's got air. And he's got his hover, should he choose to bring it in. So this looks like a fairly even battle in the first instance. I think, well, that's a lot of subs all stacked on top of each other, so it could be a bit closer, and there's a T2 sub in there as well. But best intentions are some reinforcements, so it's all well and good, but the T2 is going to make a difference, and those cruisers. They're still worried about air. Add a few cruisers just to take care of things, and there's another. I don't think this production line is long for this world. Checking out the air game, well, that's ASFs to assist the Swiftwinds, which have run out of fuel. They've been in the game that long. ASFs circling around to take things out, a single flak. Just having some fun, popping off some shots. Ooh, get some kills eventually, maybe. Damage. Circling the flak basically. But down here is the Navy battle, and it is not going well for Buggerus anymore. Hover have come in and add into that the T2 units, and I think we're going to see by one these factories go down. The hover cannot be targeted by these submarines, so they are effectively useless against any of that. They can try to take down the cruisers, take down the destroyers, but side this now. Let's watch the hit points melt. Factories. Submarines coming out. Submarines coming out, so sub-heavy spam. Annoyed at the hover, doesn't want to give them an advantage. Back up here. Is still a go. Pushed up power, getting some more. Attack defense, so he's obviously worried about this over there reoccurring. some units just casually cross over the pizza towards the other one. Incursion starts over here, so air's been circling around for a while just to keep things under control. And now the hovers wandered over. It's looking like used to be 4-2 in fact. I don't think he made the most slices. Didn't help quite as much, and Forces are out now doing their job. See the ASFs come over. Oh no, they're still circling away. So it's killed like 17 aircraft. Probably swift ones that are out of fuel and slow, easy targets, but flak's good. Can't do anything against ground units. It's hero flak is going to die. 18 kills to its name before it goes down. 19 kills. Gonna put 20? No. It's gone. Now though, speaking of tech launchers, there's the ones I didn't see. They must be aiming for somewhere up here, which is behind the TAC missile defense. But 2 missiles, 2 defense? I don't know if that's gonna work. He actually trying to hit units. Better targets when you start doing that. But down here we have it. Spectre the hover has just come down and ruined the day. No Navy anywhere else, there's nowhere else you can build it. Hides down here, they're going to have a go at a T2. Now. Oh, there we go. I was wondering why they weren't shooting. They were just sort of sitting there. Take out the cruiser first, then start on the destroyer. Might be low health, but they might be able to get this actually. Pop that. Damage as well, so 4v2, 3v1. It does have a deck gun which can do some damage down. Don't think it's quite got the hit points to survive that though, especially if it misses. These guys can go out of range and let it live. Oh, 76 health. Come back. No, they're on their merry way to somewhere else. You know, here we have another air factory coming up, so Barbarossa is trying to get into the air game. Still got T1 bombers coming out of there, but it's 3 going up, so it's a scout. The Volvo coming from Conrack. Just does not have much on the ground. Actually, in the air game. 12 ASFs compared. Oh, that's all Spectres, that's all torpedo. Oh, there they are. Okay, never mind, 35, he's not. Still all of these hovering over here being defensive. Still T2, T2, T2. Well, I think it's a matter of time. We did have a it's defensive ground attempt, and there are some flak in there which are going to clean up the Spectres quite happily. That must come from these factories here, which are currently idle. So it seems like Bugros is possibly coming in. You see the flak just having a field day. There's all these Spectres coming in. Bomber, strange choice. Get off one volley and dies. 5 stars. Oh no. It has destroyed 1500 mass. Not a bad effort. But over here's a problem. And rolling this way up, we do have a broadsword in attendance, which is going to do some damage, but it's going to take damage. How many flak is there? That's 1, 2 flak, 2 flak. But got some shields as well to help out. And I don't think it's going to last if it hangs around. Taking more damage, more flak turns up, and we'll say goodbye to that broadsword. And in the middle island, more T2 rolling in, more hover coming over. It's just nothing on the ground for that. Got no PD, we've got no ground units. Don't even have, oh, actually we do have a broadsword, but there's so much flak included. Oh, it's a strap bomber. So Buggerus has tried to get into there, has brought a strap bomber up, but look how far behind he is in eco. That is 160 total mass. Now the strat is going to be picked up by all these ASF. I'm going to fly away and try and lure them in for, nope. It's going to be an air win for Konarak. He just got far too many ASF for Buggerus to handle. Nothing on the ground to help out. Another mech strat going down over there, so there's 2-2 all over his last one, and a nuke. Oh dear, I didn't even and a nuke. All of that, and a nuke. Talk about overkill. Just maybe. Mistakes were made. I have to say, in the early game, I might have agreed with you, Tony. It looked like Buggerus was doing well. He had himself 4 out of the 2 slices, but just the sheer number of engineers that Konarak put out for the reclaim. And let's have a look. This basically clear, nothing left on it. You look over here, there's still bits. I know. Mid game, he had hoovered up most of the reclaim on this, but there's still plenty over there. And Buggerus. So the more I cast games, ranked players, the more I'm seeing just how it's incredibly important. Like, huge. It is the difference between winning and losing, is getting that reclaim. So, you know, food for thought. Doing it, get yourself some reclaim. Get yourself all the reclaim. Get the engineers out and grab it. Alrighty. Now then, we have ourselves one more game lined up. Just the one. And I just need to grab myself a drink. Please give me a moment. Okay, so we've had 2 1v1s and a single team game, so we're going to wrap it up with another team game. And this is a 6v6, and it's going to go down a map known as Mad Sea. Mad Sea. So there we go, plenty of water, so obviously Navy is going to be critically important. 6v6 on each side, and let's have a look. First things first, how much mass? Well, there's 63,000 mass to reclaim on the entire map. A large chunk of it in the middle, so you want to get to the middle. Anyway, let's start up here with, this is going to be team 1, according to the fact. And up on the front, if there's a land position, it was going to be this, because you got to push out this way with land. And this is Spectre Slave 137. So this is going to be Spectre, and he is in shit brown land. Nearby him we have Escape Van. It's going to be Escape from here on. He is purple Aeon. That's a Navy slot, and beside him is Honor. Cybran in a lovely blue also slot. Over here we have Niemand, and Cyan Aeon, and he's actually open first air because, well, there isn't really any land and you can't get down there, so this could be an air slot, could be a edge build Navy slot. Behind him up here we have Xylo, and he has gone white UEF, also open first air because, hey, he's not going to do land, he could do Navy over here, or he could do air. And in the back, de facto air slot, I would guess, we have Konjiki Shigenami, he's Konji, and he's Orange and Aeon. Flipping over to the other side, up the front of land player, we have Nothuk, and he is Pink. Cybran, he's open first air. Maybe he plans to drop. And close to him in the first navy position, we have Legend Law's commander's gone. He's already there on his way towards the reclaim. And he's opened up first land. Beside him and also on his way to the middle is Wheeze, and he is yellow UEF. Over here on the final navy slash air position, it is Butcher, and he's open combat green UEF. Behind him, Cybran Grey is Judah, and as well looks like an air factory planned up over there. And at the rearguard slash air position, we have more than a Jedi. He's just going to be Jedi, and he's Cybran. So, some interesting things to note about this map. Civilians, hostile. So, unless you time it right and drop, make it past the flag. That we have a couple of point defense here covering this region. Actually, have a few Titans inactive located around the place. You could, if you wanted to, either reclaim or capture these Titans. Imagine if you got a bunch of engineers over here, grabbed this Titan at the T1 stage, it would really well. Of course, capturing units does take resources, so it's not an easy win. Way to go. Right, first things out, we have Spectres throwing out combat scouts. Just going to rock on out and get a bit of intel for him. But while we had, did you see that? Don't think that scout saw what was coming over. Get it. Get it is the call. And get it indeed, because sitting right here, just on this beach front alone, there is just under 12,000 mass. Zoom out and include these, goes over 16,000, pretty much 12,000 mass to be had on this beachfront. And well, you see Legend Law has his commander there, and well, I think he's going to win that battle. We have a drop coming over from Neiman, so yes, he did want to do a drop straight away. Unfortunately, oh, comes over here, he could hurried, get a bunch of this reclaim. It's a whole lot of patrol orders though, so that is going to start. Throwing down a point defense first off, just to get a bit of defenses up in case of ground units. I don't think would be a bother because under and right here. So jumping straight onto the reclaim is the escape van. It's going to help him out a lot. Sorry, I forgot to do this. Sort my columns. Alright, Spectre's calling Iron lost because there are two comms over here. Oh, he's not wrong. Stop that, but they still have a chance to get a whole lot of the reclaim with the engineers if they try. But enough engineers over here. See this here doing the patrol route? Don't do that. Main of reclaim. We've got these giant rigs, main of reclaim, because these are now idle engineers doing nothing. Targeting things there. When they're on patrol, they're not going to reclaim. Coffers are full. Because why? You don't need it. I'm not going to reclaim it. Whereas if you manual reclaim, they'll get it, they'll fill your coffers, they'll overflow to your teammates. Having said that, despite there being a commander presence over here, check out the numbers. Team 1 managed to get more of that for now. Just because they went for the reclaim straight away instead of building. Yep. Let's just double check that. Slightly. So by dropping the engineers, they got there earlier. They grabbed more of the reclaim. But having said that, there's still a lot left. Two. Right, so team to the middle, and speaking of drops, we have actually had one down the south here. And Xylo. We're up to deter things like this bomber right here. Going to fly overhead, not drop a single bomb, get yourself shot down to the red. shot down by third pop out, so nothing doing on there. Although having said that, Butcher has walked his comm up here as well, so don't think that's enough on that island to stop that. Does he have any intel on that? Well, no, he doesn't. That's all up there, and he's just walking his commander past. That's going to be a radar. Right up here in the mid though, we have Spectre has pushed right on up, and he has grabbed all of these mixes, and Nighthawk is grabbing stealth. Curious decision. No units with him. I down here putting up some factories, no spam whatsoever. And still more, so that's a lot of spam units coming out from Spectre, and Nighthawk is going to be well behind on that. Check out the middle though, this is where it could be contested. We have Navy popping out from Team 1. That's the first little frigate to try and deny some of these Zoes floating around. We have a drop from Jedi, who is like he's popping the engineer down, and they're going to grab here, whilst Escape Van has his own engineers doing the same thing. That's cheeky. That's agreed to be cheeky. It's going to be an area deny for that. How far does it go? Well, it's going to kill that. Maybe. And the SC's it's going to shoot. We have a ping, and that. Okay. So remember me mentioning those Titans that were here that you could capture? They did exactly that. Then they pop them on a transport and drop them in an opponent's base. That, as a player, did not even think of. And just unluckily for them, Escape was there with his comm, with e-storage, able to overcharge those Titans, or they could have made an absolute mess of all of this. Now, checking out the top here though, Butcher has to be a little careful. He's walking straight into T1 PD. Looks like he doesn't care. In fact, he's actually able to shoot over the walls, so that's going to be no problem. And now he's reclaiming it. Nah, just keep shooting. Don't stop moving. And in fact, the PD shoots the ground, so hey, that's going to help out too. Less damage. And he should be able to clean up all this, especially as he has his own factory here with his own engineers. I think he'll hold that spot quite happily. Right, let's check out the top mid though. So Spectre has pushed forward with more units, and it looks like we had T2 up on Nighthawk, so he's got stealth, he's got T2, and he's throwing up some Cerberus point defense. Well, that's nice flattish ground, there's a big hill in the way. Right, and it starts to open up. Tickle those tanks down. Commander gets to work on another one. Wouldn't do so bad to actually start shooting the units, because no, I think it'll be right. Not enough combat units to worry about there, so only half a dozen tanks, and that Cerberus turret should be more than equal to that. But there's more spam coming, including Zoes. Those can dish out a lot of damage. Right. Now he slips down a T1 PD for the DPS. He has some of his own Mantis coming over to help. She wrote for that. We do have head bars, just Scepters. Bombs out at this stage. And speaking of bombs, let's check on our air players. Well, we have almost finished a T2 upgrade there for Konji. And his counterpart is actually almost finished T3, 2/3 of the way through. So he is well ahead in the air. I'm not missing anything. He hasn't got another factory somewhere. Nope. But he has a T3. He'll have T3 in his commander, so he can build the primary, and he's done the Control K rebuild trick for his mass extractor as well. So, picking back up here though, here's where half of the interesting. We've got a couple of Cerberus turrets in the realm, and in fact you can see here, that's unlucky, just happened to drop transport and a whole bunch of engineers as a couple of Zoes were going past. They all died. Engines up here pumped down a T1 PD, so it looks like Jedi is going to try and help out his front compatriot. But again, remember those Zoes I mentioned? They're coming over and they're ruining somebody's day. That's right, let's check out the Navy situation. Well, we have gone straight for T2 over here. So Legion Law has decided, no, I don't need T1, I'll just pop out a single submarine and I'll go T2. Almost a similar thing over here for Wheeze, T2 UEF, and he's got some frigates, some submarines, and a cruiser for that damage. Grabbing T2 on his comm out in the middle of nowhere. Alright, grabbing some units on the south though. They might try to sneak through this little gap here because, well, they can't do much else. They could come over here, but really there's for any kind of this. And now we have Butcher has finished cleaning up and scooping up everything here. Let's come around and I imagine we'll see him wandering back sooner rather than later. Here though, there is a slight, just enough of an incline on those guns to get through a gap down that flak, which will make this edge droppable. See a drop? No, we don't. Instead, the destroyer is going to fall back a little bit, but we can drop there now and just reclaim. Picking out the middle though, there has been a bit of a scuffle, and it looks like Wheeze has come out second best quite easily to a bunch of frigates and a destroyer. And what do Team 2 have in the water? Well, they don't have much. Got some more factories lined up over here. Some reinforcing Navy. Check out up the middle though, we have Nighthook needs to be careful. He does not want to stand still with those coming in. Ow, indeed. Ow, indeed. That is a lot of shared hit points from those there. He needs to bring in his units to help him stay alive. No, don't stop. Don't stop. And don't put up T2 PD. Well, actually, I take that back. It looks like those are falling back for some reason. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Have the commander on ropes. Maybe they're worried about the small burns coming in. Either way, he throws up a couple... a Cerberus turret, which is going to happily shoot at the hill. Dirty, dirty, filthy hill. She has arranged to tickle over that way. But Zoes can just pop up behind the hill, lob some shells over it, and that will be the end of that. Need some nice flat ground, and the Navy has been continued pushing, and we're now seeing them on the... But that is a lot of build power. It's a lot of build power around that factory. See, there are two destroyers. Are they submerged? Yes, they are. So they're just here right now to help clean up the frigate mess. Exactly what they're doing there, whilst these two fall back. But we have a lot more Navy coming in. A whole lot of frigates and a cruiser from Onot helping to join the fray, and that's going to really assist. Although we do have Judah in the mix, and he has queued up all naval factories. Just to help just there. I mentioned the drop. Well, looks like Zillow has grabbed the drop and he's put down a factory and a radar. See these guys come along and, well, they're going to grab the mixers, then I suppose reclaim everything else. That destroyer sitting down here is very angry at whatever's over here. Mass extractor. Does not like it, but instead he's deciding to shoot the cliff. Maybe he can shoot his way through. Chelsea. Checking out over here though, we have some issues. Issues in the form of swarms coming in, and that is a lot. I mean a lot of build power. It's about to get obliterated by frigates. You want to kill build power? Frigates are the way to do it. Well, absolutely. T1 engineers. Low damage, fast firing guns? You betcha. Honestly, Legend Law is getting a little bit overrun right now. There is 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 4 people in the water, although Neiman hasn't joined in. But we have these forces here from Escape Van mixed in with forces from Honor, and he is simply losing a lot. Right, the call is there to try and focus down the naval factory. If they can kill that off, then that will actually stop him being able to produce for a while. Honor is saying you could have won that. Well, he could have, but there are 5 destroyers over there. There's another one over here as well as a shield boat and a cruiser, and that is T3 Air from Jedi. We have T3 Air over here from Konji, who is currently just focusing on Eco. Checking out on the front line over here, well, Nithuk has dropped down. He is at 4,000 health, so looks like he just about got caught out, because that's a lot of spam. He's still just standing there. Put down Cerberus turret, help him clean up, because he's got his own spam. Another couple of Cerberus turrets there, help him defend. Looks like an energy drop coming in from Jedi, so he's wanting reclaim. So if you remember, I mentioned the whole reclaim thing being really useful. Well, Jedi agrees. He's grabbing it. And if we just check out, hello, icy broadswords. Don't know what they've got paused. Wasn't aware they had any kind of shield or... oh, jamming. They have jamming. Pause jamming, save the energy. Doesn't really much. But Nithuk needs to be careful because he's not on a lot of health. Those broadswords could do a fair amount of damage. In fact, here they come. Glad I spotted that because I was quite distracted elsewhere. And that's a drop also coming from Spectre, so what's going on there? The Navy, well, they've stabilised that and pushed it back, but over here I think we're about to see Nithuk get ejected from the game. He's got no anti-air to speak of. There's no ACFs in the area, and he is going to be the first ejection. But this is full share. This is Spectre, so yes, the comm goes down, but that's all going to pass over to somebody else. Question is, who's it going to be? The lucky recipient of all of Nithuk's eco is Jedi. So they just gave the air player who's already hit an eco over Konji all of this. Yeah. Some Zuis floating over, and they're just going to be an annoyance everywhere, coming from all sorts of angles. Sports right beside a tracer. It's not the greatest idea. It's okay, they say. We'll just carry on. There was a few Cerberus turrets, so they'll be able to hold off E1 spam for a while. And looks like Jedi has already grabbed the reins and has got the factories going again. So should be able to keep that at bay for the time being. And oh, does have the T3 engine there and has started the monkey. Because hey, why not? Get himself some build power down here as well, grab some hives in and probably start moving it up really fast. In the meantime, of course, those Zuis are coming along, so pop up some Cerberus turrets. Going to pick those off nice and slow. Probably lose some power, maybe that one, depending on if they have targeting manually or not. But more Cerberus turrets, and that's going to help hold things out. Keep this area safe. Yep, there we go. There's some power, but that's not going to bother Jedi. T1 when he's got freaking T3 reactors sitting in his base. No dramas here. Let's check out the mid, and while the Navy battle has gone... that's a pushback. So, got to be careful though, you don't want to be sitting still getting alphaed by those things, they do a lot of damage, and in fact, looks like Legend agrees because his destroyers go underwater. Jedi is calling for radar at mid, because, well, they have none. He said radar, does he have any engines? Oh, he's got that one. I think he's saying they need radar and here somewhere, and that's a Titan. So I'm going to imagine they finally managed to finish capturing one of the ones back here somewhere, and they have released it into the wild. It's going to gradually shoot down that factory, as you do. Up here though we have a commander and a commander. get much work done trying to go that way. And that's the T2 land factory. Checking out that drop in the middle, well, these are all T2 now, and ringed. Check out down the bottom, there were some riptides floating around. Maybe they were thinking about going for a jaunt off this way, but they're not going to get anything done anymore because there is a defending naval army. They're going to rock on in, and I think they could probably do it actually. It's just the one destroyer, and we've got some Lobos over here. Yeah, it's not going to go down well for that Exodus. And better run. Chilling out there, and we have a drop of T3 engineers, so some tech planned for over there, whatever we're going to put on. Some anti-air would be good, and check it out over here though, we've got a cruiser up to help the front from Honor. These things, check out the range it's got. Still some spam coming into these factories from Jedi, but his attention will be a little bit split. Got some reclaim. Is he starting to build anything interesting? Well, I say, is he starting to build anything interesting, but he's already completed a nuke. Does T1 have any idea? Oh no, they don't. They haven't scouted for a while, they know this T3 air, but they have no idea it's a nuke. Are they preemptively building defences? Not there. That's one there. Omna says need a nuke. Well, there's one over here. It's not going to help you very much, but there is one. Well, Konji has been focusing. He has got a SMD in front of his base, but he has been focusing hard on Nico. Hasn't got much in the way of air. In fact, he's got virtually no air, except for a couple of restorers. Up my eco. Wasn't for the extra base that Jedi had over here. I think he might be struggling. Let's double check that. So he has 360 income. Opponent Konji 330 just off the single base. It's a lot more. That monkey though is up to halfway done. So not doing too bad for himself. Do have a bunch as always make a lane forward if they come in this way. They'll run into a squad of Cerberus turrets and just be obliterated on those. That is a sizable force up here though. That's a lot of T1 spam. A lot. Back to the nuke question. So no defense over there. No nuke defense up here. And no nuke defense over here that I can see. No. But the only nuke defense is up the back. Or Konji. I said nuke loading. Well, it's going really slowly. Which it will, because he's stalling on mass, because he's building the monkey. Check out the Navy game. I spent a little bit back and forth, and that was an attempt at reclaim from Jedi. Like he's left a few ASF over here, maybe defensive, maybe plonked them and forgot about them, but the Navy's looking like a pretty static line, and we have T3 from Legend, so he has got sub-hunters under there. Oh, you don't want them out the front. You want them behind because they have the longest range. You really want to try and snipe with them, so get them just in range to launch their torpedoes and let have at. Right, checking out the front situation though, and yes, there is the overrun. T1 units just absolutely swarming over. Just never enough defense to stop all those, but we know that Jedi's attention was elsewhere for his T1 defense, and that would be by this thing. It would take a metric shit ton of T1 units to stop a monkey. That monkey is almost done. And then I imagine it's just going to wander up this way, wipe out all of this, and really, what do they have to stop it? Well, the answer is nothing. This is strays too close to the coast and some destroyers can plink at it. Do we have T3? Oh, we do actually. So we could see battleships out of here any moment, especially subs rocking out. And speaking of, more than Jedi has built an experimental. There is the monkey. It is up, it is running, it is ready to go. Yep, there we go. Keep these guys back. Let everything else be the fodder and let them be the DPS, because they can dish out a ton of it. Right, checking it out, we got, is that a ridge? Oh, that is. Are you cheeky? That run all the way around? Can you get up there? I think you can get up there. So there's been just a general move order of everything down this way. And we've had BAM just skirt everything and get down there. Does that mean they've seen the nuke yet? No, so they must scouted. They didn't even know the monkey's there. That's going to wipe out all of that. Checking out the middle though, that was a T3 battle cruiser. Yep. So Butcher has made his T3. He's popping out battle cruisers, but what was only T2 to face off against right now, so it's not a bad idea. And be careful with these. Don't push forward. Stay there. Stay at range. Battleship? Yeah, battleship on the way. Alright, so that monkey has made it to the front. And if Spectre's paying attention, he will see his units just slowly dying from an unknown source. And he's going to see that giant beam wasting them. And he's going to know, yeah, let's not sit there then. That monkey will just decide to eat them. Bam, still just sitting there. Does not have his own radar. Well, he does. He knows it's there. Doesn't care. Alright, how's that nuke going? Has it loaded yet? Oh no, it's still going incredibly slowly. Yeah, stalling on my thing. Checking out the Navy situation though. It's a hell of an off, especially to be sitting still. Is that not under the shield? Well, no, it wasn't, because the bubble didn't quite reach that far. It's free kill. The number of sub-hunters is increasing. Don't chase. You don't want to get into torpedo range of destroyers, because that does hurt. Here, the monkey. Well, it's just sitting there having fun. Self 47 kills. It's doing alright. Navy looks a little bit static. We do have a bunch of T2 here, and oh, this is the wrong idea. So destroyers have more hit points, and their torpedoes can just really chunk down those sub-hunters quite quickly, so keep them at range. Keep them at range. That's a brick. So just when you think, that's okay, we can skirt the monkey, you get a brick. Although the brick doesn't want to stand still in the face of that many Zoes, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt a lot. It would help if it could hit its target. I'm just watching those shots fly overhead. Oh, down to the red. Was that move going to save its life? Yes, it is. Under 400 health. Almost. Brick survives. Let's attack missiles. Yes, they are. They're going to impact on the shields. No. They're taking out the HQ. Oh. That was not a bad idea at all. Taking out the T3 Naval HQ. That's a huge loss. And plonk down a trade here to just start tickling away at the Alright, let's see. Has it been scouting? Oh, so still no scouting. Not a thing. How close is it to being loaded? Well, still nowhere near. Honor is calling naval as being lost. It is, well, it's 4v2 in the water. They have got battleships, they have got a good bunch of destroyers. We've got shield boats, battle cruisers, we've got sub-hunters. What is... Is this thing back to shooting the cliff? Yep, shooting the cliff. Look at that. That close to getting through. Just hitting the edge. We'll check back on that guy at the end of the game, see if he's still there. Anyway, speaking of in the water, we have much in the water there. What is he doing it? Not a lot, and he still doesn't have SMD. Zillow, and that is just about loaded. Not have SMD for honor. Do have for escape, and that's just been built by the look of it. We don't have, well, see a photo being starting to build, but we don't have an S&D here for Spectre. So if you could focus on that nuke, if you could stop building all this, get the nuke out, he has the potential to do a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3 bases all completely undone, and Konji finishes a donut. So he hasn't been building here, he's been building that. Question is, does Jedi have enough care of it or no? That not a lot. I don't think he wants to really be trying that, especially as Konji has his own. We're putting them out at a fairly speedy rate. So if that donut flies over, it's going to cause all sorts of problems. I don't have the air grid quite yet, he's working on it. Got all the power plant out. They're built. One, he's got 4 factories up. Needs to get those going faster. Alright, checking out down here though, whoopsie. There's where those restorers went to, and they are just hiding up. Making this all in the hands of nobody. See, I think Jedi is considering coming over here, but if he throws his air away on this, there is more ASFs and the restorers. Remember, restorers themselves have a good amount of anti-air. I don't think he's got the numbers, and oof, that, I just saw the TAC missiles. I think they all impacted around about here. They almost predicted the movement of the comm, and he almost died to those broadswords. And there's more air from Zillow. So I think nobody else has air. Oh, there we go. So Butcher's in the air game. Well, he's just in the air game. The only ASFs team to have is this small group here from Jedi. It's compared to this ASFs from Spectre. We've got ASFs from Zillow, and of course the ones from Konji. So it's 3v1 in the air at the moment. But this is a decent engage. I think we'll see stores get wiped out, and also this little air wing from Zillow I don't think will be enough. So we're going to see a clean up on that. We even have a little bit of air from Nemund. Not really enough. Butcher's completed an experimental. There it is, Atlantis in the water. That will help the Navy, which has, you know, it's turned a little bit. It's evened out, but those battleships are coming in and really helping out. Looks like we've had a fair few of the sub-hunters as well. Probably got a bit too close into the mix and got torpedoed down. There's no way they should be dead. And in fact, that is most of the Navy gone for this team. So this is a solid amount, and I think start pushing as well. Looking at here, so it looks like Jedi managed to keep the majority of his ASF on that front. We have techs coming out. Well, they're loaded, they're not being used. Wonder what they'll go for. There were some T-20 over here. I think I just found what the tech's being used for. Nope, they're going somewhere else. And going for another HQ. Have a bunch of tech defense. More tech defense, and a bunch more, and a bunch more. So plenty of tech defense. Now would be the time to rebuild that HQ. Yep, rebuild the HQ. You'll be good to go. And rebuild it fast because Navy is struggling. I forgot what happened to that monkey. That it? Yep. So the monkey got itself all the way up here, but then it died, and Konji finishes another experimental. So that's 2 donuts. Oh, there's where the sub-hunters went. They rocked themselves all the way up here to do some damage, and do some damage they would be doing if it was not for the torpedo bombers floating around, and even the donut with its depth charges can help out, but not for the torpedo bombers. They would be destroy this battleship. No, so instead, they change focus to other submarines. best idea, and indeed they go down to of the torpedo bombers. So, Navy at your doorstep. Trying to hold them off with the sub-hunters, trying to hold them off with bulwarks and frigates are going to just slip under that and be able to kill it if they don't. And battleships in the mix. Cruiser, got a bunch of destroyers. These guys are going to get overrun. Destroyers are going to rock on top and they're going to drop things off, and here come the torpedo bombers to help pop them. Not so good. Get your air off the ground and help defend that. Although, do you help defend against that, or do you focus down the Tsar? Tsar, which is accompanied by so much air. Oh no. Has to fly through the air first and turns. Oh no, unlucky. It's a bad turn right as they were about to shoot the Tsar, which just flies on over and the air gets shredded. Another air wing comes in for a Spectre. That, I think, here comes the air from Butcher. Where has that been hiding? But it's not going to be enough, and we are going to see. Here is Legend Wars Com. We don't know, but his SMD goes down. He was starting on a Wasser. Seems like a silly idea when you don't have air. Jedi's calling it 2v1, but in fact it's more like 3v1. It's 3 lots of air in, and there is Legends Com. He's trying to run away, but he's been spotted. There goes that giant laser of doom. Gonna redirect any moment. There we go. Turned around, saw the com. That's Legend. Game, and over here, what do we have? Well, we have nothing. More Sams than that. That is a very, very healthy Tsar, and in fact he's built another one. Yes, he has. And wait, that's his third one. So there's the other one, and that's actually just kind of picked up Wheeze. So focusing on this one, getting Legend on. This one over here has killed a Wheeze at the same time. Checking out this way though. Tsar is about to slide right over Jedi and slaughter him, I imagine. Gets his nuke out because, hey, I've got it, I might as well use it. Lucky it'll hit the Tsar on the way through, but it does not. Jedi goes down, Tsar goes down from the air, but they've got another 2. Go down as well. I just not see it. Nope, there it is. And it lands on Judah. Oh dear. And I agree with you there, Foodman. He did. He built so much power. Like, he should have been building them as he went, but he built all of that, then built the factories. Should have like gone kind of like that, but yes. But unlucky Jedi. Tsar goes down, but it's calm, and that was all she wrote. And now it is entirely up to Butcher. Well, he does have a lot of income. Got another Tsar on the way. Atlantis here, is that submerged? Oh, yes it is, but you know, it's only one against many. He's got Navy off the hills, he's got Zooey storming in over this way, good pissed on. There was a crab being built. Isn't going to get much done. It's Com, is that in the water? Yep. It's him in the water. Now Spectre's built an experimental. Did he finally finish that Ythota? Yes he did. Jedi's saying predict his ACU and build an Omni, but honestly, I don't think he's going to get much done. Don't see any SAMs. He does have an air grid which is pumping out ASF at a reasonable rate. They need to be over here to take. Simply aren't, and there's also an escorting range of ASS which will help cut things down before they even get there. Commander's over there, but I feel we're going to see this rolling over, and hello, those. It's Lifter Seal. Thank you very much for following, my friend. Nice to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Go. Tsar rigging the base. Commander's over here. Look at the friggin' spam from all these factories due to set up, and really, couldn't even upgrade one. Did have another nuke launcher down here, so that's what Judah was doing. Totally missed that. Not much good when you get a Tsar on your base. Just wandering away with his commander, having a jaunt underwater. Nice relaxing stroll in the deep. Navy's pushing in, torpedo bombers up, and more Navy about to come through here. That's a torrent. Looks like that destroyer finally got his kill. Ended up moving to do so. But nice. Oh, we have a desync. That's okay. It's pretty much the end of the game. We won't worry about that desync. Just don't see Butch coming back from this. He's been absolutely swarmed. Navy on air. That nuke did land over there to finally kill. Support commander going to pop down here. Another couple. They're going to go. Zardai? No, it's not enough anti-air. So there we have an interesting little map. Navy is very definitely required. That's the kind of game that can get one lost on Navy, and seems to be less of a priority. I mean, you don't want to ignore it. Your land is much less of a priority compared to everything else. We had 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 into the Navy. One person focusing on it. You could go 2 air, 3 Navy, but whatever the case is, you want to get to the mid, grab the reclaim, you want to push back. Still running away, so he's absolutely running for his life, and as well he should, because there hasn't got long left to live. Everything going down here, we have a whole bunch of SAMs being spammed up. We have Titans rolling in to try and contain the Zoes, but the sheer amount that just watch that shield drop. And even Xylos finished an experimental. That's a Novax. Come on, man. When found, no, he has not. Still hiding in the water. Any idea? Oh, they see the radar signature, so surely they figure it out. Surely they figure it out. Where are the torp bombers? Oh, there are none. And the Tsar's rolling away. Right, using data news, but the torrent is trying to squeeze through this gap. I don't think it can fit. It's going to take a long time, getting stuck behind a battleship. These things are really fat as well. Waiting for that realization. Turns out, just absolute massacre right now. Nothing doing down here, just building some more ASFs. Some more SAMs. Oh, Scathers. Alright, well, the Scathers could have turned things around if that got finished. That would have very much helped out with team, but that sounds like... There we go. Commander has been found. Here's the torp bombers. Skimmers. Nothing doing. Nothing doing. Throws out the GG, and we just have a look at the final mass stats. We can see Team 1 is up 6,000. Probably a bit difficult to tell at this stage of the game because they've been up for a while. Good choice going 3 air players. Well, they weren't 3 air players at first. Just gonna say, they weren't 3 air players at first. He spent a lot of time focusing the front. Once he had front under control, then he went air. Zalo did kind of go air, but really, mainly Konji, and then everybody else joined in. So it was so to speak. But having said that, interesting map, I feel. One, go. The other games lined up. So that's forecast anyway. And boy oh boy, some games better than others I particularly enjoyed. Actually, I think they're all hard to pick a favourite for me out of those. I enjoy some good 1v1s. I like some team games where we all work together. The other team game, it was good until couple of mistakes, saw some really bad things happen. And just nobody likes to rage quit. But that's right, the rest of the game was well interesting. Very good. Let me just see if there's actually any games that I can look at joining. I could maybe finish off with... what have we got here? Any of the boys on? All in... nope. Yep, they're on, but they're in a game. Time soon. Well, I hate to say it, but I think I might just do a slightly shorter stream tonight. 3 hours of yakking away doing a casting is put my throat at a bit of a disadvantage. I talk a lot for work, so I really can't afford to ruin my voice for that as well. So I'll call that one there. So thank you for hanging out, people. Thank you for coming visiting. Thank you for the follows. Have yourselves a lovely day, morning, evening, whatever time zone you're in. Take it easy. I'll be back in a couple of days with some more casting, some more fun. Catch you guys later.